everybody. Welcome on back to another episode of Two Fat Drunks. I'm JDV.
And I'm Warplay.
I forgot the name of the show. Anyway, thanks for joining us again here. I know Cousin Cheryl and Ray need some more love, so let's give them some more love. Cousin Cheryl, Ray, get better soon, okay? All right? We need you. All right, so on this episode of these Two Fat Drunks, what we're going to talk about is what makes a horror movie, and what makes it just merely a suspense film.
Why? Because why are they two different genres?
So we're going to break down, like for instance, is Silence of the Lambs a horror film or is it a suspense film? Is The Exorcist a horror film or a suspense film? And really tricky, is Alien a horror film or is it a suspense film? Coming up
next
Reno
on Two Fat Drunks,
the coolest show you don't watch.
Nobody watches the show.
Nobody.
Except a couple guys who are shut-ins.
Okay, right off the bat, Exorcist, horror movie or suspense film?
Shit, horror movie.
Of course it's a horror movie.
Yes.
Silence of the Lambs, horror movie or suspense film?
Suspense.
Correct. And lastly, Alien, horror movie or suspense?
You gotta say horror.
It has to be horror, and here's why. Well, we'll get into why we agree. No, I can make it. Yeah. It's the one movie you can kind of make an argument.
I didn't know what he was going to say to me.
Right. We have not planned this at all. So, I would say, first of all, I think Netflix does, Amazon. I think most film critics do.
Categorize
There is a difference between, say, a scary thriller, something like Hitchcock would make.
Right.
All right. There's another one, Psycho. Is Psycho a horror movie or a thriller?
Well, you would have to say it really straddles the line, but you'd have to give it a thriller,
right?
Because
so we've agreed four for four, like without talking about it at all.
We just have to know why.
And there's another, I guess, subgenre or above it is horror movies, like pure horror.
And there seems to be kind of levels.
There is a difference, and to me, if you don't understand that subtlety when you start to say write a screenplay or short movie or whatever, if you're trying to come up with even a video game, you should at least
give it some thought.
Think about it, and maybe you'll agree with me that what is the key distinction to you? Because you have a different theory than me on this. This is where we diverge. This part we did talk about.
Right. So, for me, the fine distinction between horror and suspense is that, for me, horror takes a particular element and exaggerates it beyond understanding. It takes it to an area that it can never go. But everything is still treated realistically. Whereas in a suspense film, there doesn't seem to be a supernatural component to it.
Yeah, you finally get it. That's it.
Yeah, there's none of that.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
Horror movie has the supernatural. A thriller does not. That is the way to break it down, just super fast. And it doesn't always work. And I'm going to give you the one movie that it is just one film. Not talking about the sequels.
Okay.
But the original 1979, or is it 78, Halloween.
78, I believe it was 78.
So it was the year before 79.
Right.
It helped usher in the magical years.
Very much so.
Okay, horror movie or thriller? The original. Completely discounting all other sequels.
The original is a horror film, dude.
The original
it's a horror film.
Is a suspense film.
Really?
Because it is realistic that she could have missed him with every shot, or he could have missed him.
So you're thinking Loomis missed.
Or hit him one time and he fell through, and he's 19-year-old super killer, dude. When you were 19, you could fall off of a story-and-a-half building and live, no problem.
Yeah, no,
and you're not
and he's a pretty big guy.
That's right. And he's portrayed as a super athlete.
And no one else shot him that evening.
Okay, would Batman have died from that?
No.
Right? And he's not a supernatural character. So I think you can make the argument in Halloween 1 that it is actually truly a suspense film. It only becomes
because he's a serial killer.
A horror film in the subsequent films when even the toughest human being would be dead by now. Type of thing.
Okay.
Right. By the end of Halloween 2, that doesn't even walk through a wall of flame or some shit. Yeah. No. By then, now he's in the way that Jason was originally like Friday the 13th.
He's back from the dead. He was
original Friday the 13th horror movie or thriller. This is slam dunk.
It's a horror movie.
Why?
Here's why it's a horror movie. Okay, I'll go with you on the supernatural component.
Yeah.
But Friday the 13th introduced an element that is generally not present in suspense films, and that is gore. That is gratuitous, demonstrable as an effect gore.
Who is the monster in Friday the 13th?
Not to give any spoilers, but it's Pam Voorhees. It's Jason's
the mother.
mother.
Does she have supernatural powers, or does she just killing teenagers when they're on the height of climaxing and utterly defenseless?
Climax. Because her character, you're right, it's not supernatural except to the extent that she's insane, but that's not really supernatural, is it? But
here's where you're right.
Okay.
Again, your argument is wrong, but your conclusion is right. It's because at the end of that film, when that little monster boy comes up and grabs her,
yeah,
that ain't no dream, baby.
No, that's
real.
It really happened.
That's real, and that is the basis for the whole rest of the films. Is that little boy grew up,
comes up, and then
and is this indestructible super killing machine that actually kills Freddy Krueger in the 10th or at some point he this little retarded drowned boy becomes the ultimate monster, would kill Frankenstein.
Even worse than Michael Myers. I mean,
he would kill the guy from.
He would kill Michael Myers, right? Michael Myers could totally
But in the first film, it's if you just look at the first.
First, which one?
Friday the 13th. But for that last little scene,
now without that last little scene,
it's a suspense film. But with that, because then you're all in. Oh wait, he's out there. His ghost is out there. So you're all in with that,
right?
And so that it's a dead easy thing to say. Okay, suspense. And most movies will immediately go into one of those two. All right, so we'll get back to Alien. We both agreed it was a horror film. But here's where I think you could argue it's a suspense film.
Okay.
In as much as could there be a monster as depicted in the movie Alien with a little egg and it goes on your face? And
Why not? Exactly. I mean, there was nothing in there that was so physiologically crazy. Like, of course it could be like that.
That's right. You could think of a life form that mean and ugly.
Science fiction thriller.
That's part of that. See, that's kind of really what it is just hard science maybe could happen, which is different than horror, which is supernatural. It does not exist.
Supernatural,
cannot be explained out.
Because even a monster is explainable. That's understandable.
That thing didn't phase shift through walls.
It was.
It's just a super bad. It was like a lion, basically.
Giant rodent following you around.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was just an animal. Mm-hmm. Now, where you kind of go to the horror is the idea that they're in a haunted house, or they go to their car breaks down in front of a haunted house. That's kind of what happens, right, in Alien.
Okay, so wait a minute.
So elements of that film of horror, because the monster does not exist in real life, probably, and certainly doesn't on this planet.
Not that you're aware of. I mean,
then you start to tilt more to the supernatural, like werewolves are kind of straddle that line. The monster from Prophecy.
Yeah,
that kind of.
It
does not exist, but geez, it could exist
because of their explanation, which brings
up.
Let's bring it up, dude.
Dave, is Godzilla, the original film, a horror movie, or is it a suspense film?
Very good question.
What would you say?
The original Godzilla.
Yeah.
You gotta say, what did you ask me?
Is it a horror or suspense? Yeah, you could say sci-fi. Okay, so is it sci-fi suspense or sci-fi horror?
It's sci-fi suspense, isn't it? It kind of is.
Kind of like that. You're making it my argument for Alien as being suspense, and that it's
outside the realm. It's conceivable. All right, it's not like it's giant radioactive lizard mutates. Okay, now you can go into the whole. Well, gosh, it would have to consume 800,000 tons of fish to live every day. To me, it's a horror film because no, it can't happen. It just, there's so many reasons why it would never happen. Just its own weight, it would crush down upon itself. I don't care what kind of shell it has,
150 Mike Cannon fucking uranium tip bullet. Yeah, they just saw him in half before he even gets within 1,000 feet of Tokyo Bay.
But it's still pretty sweet.
No, it is.
But I wouldn't call.
But
But
that's
I wouldn't
fantasy,
call
though.
it horror though.
Oh, it's. I think the
You
first film
think it's
is a
horror?
horror.
I don't think it's horror.
That first movie, one that they have never duplicated at all, other than Cloverfield, is the true terror that a giant monster ripping your city to shreds that you can't stop.
Right.
Well, that is horror. That's Wrath of God nature.
Describe
All right,
it.
so very last one.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein is
Assuming it could scare you, and it definitely did scare the shit out of people in the 30s.
It's a horror film.
It's a horror film. Even though scientifically bringing a dead body back to life is
just,
actually closer to reality than a lot of the shit we're talking about.
Just never dying.
Yeah.
But it is a I don't know, pal. I mean, these days, boy, it sure does seem like they could crank one of those out.
It just hasn't happened yet.
There's plenty in office.
Anyway, thanks for watching the show. Like, subscribe, and share so you can hit the alert button so you keep getting more fantastic content like this. And we're going to be doing a short movie called Teddy Bear pretty soon. We're making another, kind of a monster movie here for number 6.
Ultra-violent pornography.
I'm thinking about crapping out a couple more episodes of Reanimated and then kind of just making it an hour-long movie. Maybe we'll get some traction then. Hey, keep on
trucking.
Keep on
as
trucking.
they say.
All right, man. Love each other. Like, subscribe, share, blah, 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 blah.
Two fat drunks.
The coolest show you don't watch.
Nobody watches the show.
Nobody.
Except a couple guys who are shut-ins.
Not even my wife. Seriously.
I don't think my wife watches it either.
Oh, no.
She's like, what are you going over there?
I guarantee she.
You gonna go over there and sit with that retard? Yeah. I'd be like, yeah. She's like,
good for
well,
you.
fuck you.
For how many views? How many did you get there? 5?
20.
Then you're like,
I'm belittled.
Handy capable, motherfucker. Not retards.
What a dick.
Handy capable.
he ain't that capable. But you're plenty handy.
I gotta tell you.
Be sure to visit evilgeniusentertainment.com for exclusive content, swag, casting call news, and much, much more.